Now it's time to start our class. So let's start with the Module 1. Before we talk about the content material, I would like you to go to the reading guide to see what I'm expect you to learn from this week. So the reading guide is very important for each of the week as I described in the introduction video. So I would like you to read the reading guide for each module before you actually read the reading material. Alright, so I assume you go through the reading guide and now we come back and start the introduction of business analytics. So I would like you to download this reading material after you read the reading guide, and then let's start. In the first session, we're going to lay the foundation by understanding three important concepts: business intelligence, decision making, and business analytics. Business intelligence, or BI, is a broad concept. It refers to the use of technology, strategies, and practices to collect, analyze, and present data. But the key idea behind BI is to help organizations make better decisions. Business intelligence is especially powerful because it supports data-driven decision making. When decision makers have access to the right information at the right time, they make better, more informed choices. So BI helps us understand customer behavior, market trends, and how well the business is operating. Business analytics, or BA, is more specific. It is a scientific process of tuning data into insights to support better decisions. BA often focuses on why it happened, what might happen next, and what we should do about it. So, business intelligence is a big picture, the overall strategy and system. Decision making is the goal, and business analytics is one of the key methods we use to reach that goal. For example, Amazon uses customer data such as browsing history, purchase behavior, and search activity to recommend products. These personalized recommendations significantly increase sales. In fact, they account for about 35% of Amazon's revenue. Data drives product suggestion, helping customers discover items they're likely to buy. Netflix or YouTube collects data on what users watch, when they pause, what they skip, and what they rate. This data not only powers personalized recommendations, but also influence what new shows or movies they decide to produce. For example, Netflix created House of Cards after analyzing that users like political dramas and content from Kevin Spacey and David Fincher. Uber, for another example, uses real-time data to monitor the balance between rider demand and driver supply. When demand is high and the supply is low in a certain area, Uber automatically increases price to attract more drivers. This strategy helps balance the market and improve customer service levels. So in this course, we will learn all of these three, including how to collect raw data, how to turn raw data into meaningful insights, and how to use those insights to make better, more objective, and more effective business decisions. Business intelligence relies on three main components: data source, data analysis techniques, and data visualization. Business intelligence uses data from inside and outside sources. This data can come from database, spreadsheets, online platforms, social media, customer feedback forms, and more. The quality and the variety of the data collected are important for getting useful insights. Once the data is collected, it is analyzed using techniques like data mining, statistical analysis, and predictive modeling. These techniques uncover hidden trends and patterns for decision making. Data visualization. The business intelligence tools represent analyzed data visually using charts, graphs, and dashboards. It simplifies complex information, aiding understanding and interpretation. Decision makers can quickly grasp key insights and facilitate effective communication and collaboration. Overall, business intelligence combines these components to transform raw data into actionable insights that drive better decision making across all levels of an organization. In terms of decision making, there are three types of decisions. The first one is strategic decisions, involve higher level issues concerned with the overall direction of the organization. These decisions define the organization's overall goals and aspirations for the future. Strategic decisions are usually the domain of high-level executive and have a time horizon of 3 to 5 years. For example, Amazon decides to expand its business into cloud computing services through Amazon Web Services, which is AWS, aiming to become a leader in global tech infrastructure. Tactical decisions concern how the organization should achieve the goals and objectives set by its strategy, and they are usually the responsibility of mid-level management. Tactical decisions usually span a year and thus are revisited annually or even every 6 months. With the Amazon example, the Amazon's regional manager developed a 1-year plan to improve prime delivery speed in specific markets by opening new local distribution centers. Operational decisions affect how the firm is run from day to day. They are the domain of operations managers, who are the closest to the customers. The example could be an Amazon warehouse manager assigns staff to packing stations for today's shift based on the order volume and delivery deadlines. Now that we understand the three types of decision, the strategic, tactic, and operational, the next question is, how do organizations actually make these decisions? Making decisions isn't just about choosing randomly or relying on intuition. It follows a structured process where decision makers firstly clearly define the problem, then evaluate possible solutions, and finally select the best option based on data and analysis. Whether it's a high-level strategic decision like expanding into a new market, a tactical decision about improving delivery speed, or an operational decision on managing daily warehouse tasks, they all follow a simpler logical process. So let's take a closer look at the process of decision making. The first goal is to clearly understand what needs to be solved. The steps include gather relevant information to understand the situation, identify the root causes of the issue, and frame the problem in precise and actionable terms. At Amazon, leadership noticed that Prime membership renewals have been declining over the past 2 quarters. To address this, they first gather relevant data, renewal trends, customer feedback, and the usage statistic. After analyze, they frame the problem as identifying the root causes behind decreasing Prime membership renewals and finding actionable strategies to improve the retention. The second step is to determine the criteria to evaluate the solutions. So before choosing any solution, we need to define how we will measure the success. It including list the key criteria relevant to solving the problem and prioritize or assign weights to the criteria if necessary. So for the prime retention problem, the evaluation criteria may include implementation cost, expectable impact on renewal rate, time to implement, and customer satisfaction improvement. Step 3 is determine the set of alternative solutions. So it's time to brainstorm the possible solutions now, and brainstorm possible solutions, ensuring they are feasible and relevant, and also involve stakeholders or experts if necessary. So for the Amazon problem, the potential solutions might include offering personalized renewal incentive, enhancing Prime Video content offering, improving shipping speed in less covered regions, and launching a customer outreach campaign to re-engage inactive members. And the fourth step is to evaluate the alternatives, which is to analyze each solution against the criteria defined in the step 2. So we can use qualitative or quantitative method and identify risks, benefit, and trade-offs for each option. For example, Amazon can compare the cost and impact of offering incentive versus improving video content. And a personalized incentive may have lower cost and quick result. And enhancing content has higher long-term value but requires more time and investment. The last step is to select the solution that best meets the evaluation criteria and address the problem effectively. So we need to make sure to make the final decision based on analysis, stakeholder input, or the both, and prepare to justify the decision with data or rationale. So the Amazon decided to launch a targeted renewal incentive campaign. As analysis shows, it offers the highest project retention increase at the lowest cost and fastest implementation speed.
The underlying logic of business analysis or data analysis is encapsulated in the DIKW model. It stands for data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, and it shows us how raw data is transformed into meaningful action. Let's begin at the bottom of the pyramid with data. Data refers to raw facts and figures. It could be numbers, tests, or images, but without any context or meaning. For example, a customer clicks on the product, a search for headphones, or see the number $49.99. They just text numbers and images without any context, so no meaning. So think of it as the building blocks of all future insights. Next, we move up to information. The information is data with context. So when we organize, structure, and label data, it begins to make sense. So information answers basic questions like who, what, where, and when. So let's go back to the headphone example. We can tell that the numbers are price, and we can also check the rates of each headphone. So those are the information. And now we reach the third level, knowledge. So knowledge emerges when we interpret and understand information within a specific context. It allows us to recognize patterns, relationships, and implications. So, for example, at this stage, Amazon might realize that customers aged 25 to 34 in urban area tend to buy telephone between 6 to 9 p.m. and often prefer products with free shipping and high ratings. This is more than just the facts. It's insight into customer behavior. This is the stage where we begin to understand how things work. At the top of this pyramid is wisdom. So the wisdom is the ability to make sound judgment and decisions based on a deep understanding of knowledge. It involves experience, ethics, and a broad perspective. At last, using that knowledge, Amazon, for example, might decide to launch a targeted marketing campaign for headphones during peak evening hours, or adjust inventory to ensure popular models stay in stock. Thus, wisdom helps us answer not just what or how, but more important, why. So to sum up, business analytics tool helping us to move up the DIKW pyramid. They created insights from data, improve forecasting and planning, qualify risks, and suggest better alternatives through analysis and optimization. And when we talk about business analytics, there are three main types, each serving a different purpose in decision making. Let's start with descriptive analytics. The descriptive analytics is all about understanding the past. It answers a question like, what happened? This including reports, dashboards, charts, and summaries that show sales from last year, customer trends over the past month, or website visits yesterday. It helps organizations see the big picture of their historical performance, but it stops at describing what has already occurred. Now, moving forward, we have predictive analytics. This goes one step further by using past data to predict the future. It answers what is likely to happen. For example, Amazon might analyze past customer behavior to forecast how many headphones will sell next month, considering factors like seasonality, promotions, or trends. So predictive models help business anticipate demands, risks, or customer behaviors, but they don't directly tell you what to do next. And that brings us to prescriptive analytics, the most advanced type. Prescriptive analytics goes beyond prediction. It answers what should we do. That actually helps business make decisions. For example, after predicting the demand will increase, Amazon's prescriptive model might suggest how much inventory to order, how to adjust pricing to maximize profit. In other words, descriptive tells you what happened, predictive tells you what might happen, and prescriptive tells you what to do and helps you change the future. So this is how analytics empowers modern business, not just to understand the past, but to predict the future and actively shape better outcomes. In business, making the right decision is never a coincidence. Just like decision making has its own process, business analytics also follows a standard procedure to help keep us on the right track. This process actually comes from the field of data mining and is called CRISP-DM, which stands for Cross-Industry Process for Data Mining. Data mining is the use of analytical techniques to uncover patterns or relationships hidden inside large dataset. You can view business analytics as the implementation of data mining in business context. And CRISP-DM is more than just a concept. It's a structured, reliable, and widely adopted methodology that helps guide data mining projects from start to the finish. It provides a clear roadmap, making sure every step from understanding the business problem to delivering actionable insight stays organized and effective. So in short, CRISP-DM is the backbone of many business analytic projects, keeping data-driven decision-making on track. So, I combined the process of decision-making and CRISP-DM together to build up this combined structured standard process of business analytics. It uses the process of decision making as the base, and then I actually put some details, tasks, and objectives from CRISP-DM into this process. So it provides a powerful roadmap to solve business problems with data-driven solutions. So let's break it down step by step. So the first step is identify and define the problem, which includes two key tasks. Determine business objective, which is to clearly understand from a business perspective what the company actually wants to achieve. And the outcome is a business objective that states objectives in business terminology. For example, the business objective could be increase catalog sales to existing customers. Then we also need to define a data mining goal. The outcome is a data mining goal states project objectives in technique terms. A data mining goal might be predict how many widgets a customer will buy given their purchases over the past 3 years, demographic information, and the price of the item. The business objective focuses on the purpose. It ensures that the entire analytics project is aligned with the company's properties, strategy, and needs. Whereas the data mining goal is the technique translation of the business objective. It guides data analysis and data scientists on exactly what model, pattern, or prediction needs to be developed. Thus, the business objective defines the why, and the data mining goal defines how. And it is important to clarify the business objective and data mining goal before you start a business analytic project. The second step is to determine the criteria for evaluation solutions. So in this step, we answer a critical question like, how do we know if our solution works? This means setting clear success criteria, both technically and from a business point of view. For example, we can see the goal or the success criteria could be achieving a certain level of predictive accuracy or to create a customer profile with a meaningful lift in purchase probability. The third step is to determine the set of alternative solutions. This step is where the real work begins. It includes 3 major components, like data collection and understanding, data preparation, and data modeling. Data collection and understanding includes collect initial data, which is to get access to database or understand their basic structure. And also, we need to explore the data using visualizations, summarize, and simple analysis to understand distributions, relationships, and trends of the business. And we also need to verify data quality, like checking the missing values, errors, and completeness to ensure the data is reliable. And then we have to prepare the data for analysis, including selecting the data to decide which data is relevant, clean the data to fix the errors, remove duplications, and handling missing values, and constructing the data like by creating new variables or features that helps the analysis. We'll also need to integrate and formatting data to make sure like we have the data we need for analysis. And at last, it's time for us to build the model. We need to select a modeling technique we have to make sure that we choose the right algorithm, like we're using either decision trees or regression or clustering. And then we will generate the test design by splitting the data into training and testing set to validate the model. And then we're going to build the model and assess the model by evaluating the model's performance. And once the models are built, it's not just about whether they work technically. We need to ask ourselves, does this model actually solve the business problem? If it doesn't align with the business goals, adjustments are needed before moving forward. And if it does, then the final step is making a decision. We will choose the best solutions and plan how to deploy it. The deployment could mean integrating the model into a recommendation engine, a report dashboard, or supporting key decision-making process. So in summary, process of business analytics bridge decision-making logic with data mining techniques. It helps transform the raw data into valuable insights and drive smarter business decisions.
After we go through the slides, now it's time for you to finish other tasks required by Module 1. I assume you have already downloaded the required software while you went through the syllabus. If you don't, just please download them because you're going to use it later. And after that, you have to finish the first task, the first assignment of the Module 1, which is the discussion. So in this discussion, you only need to introduce yourself, including a name, major, grade, your experience related to business analytics, and describe why you choose this course and what you want to learn. And you can also introduce your past experience in the business analytics, Excel programming, or other related fields. So in the first discussion, you're not required to answering anyone's reply, but if you want, you can also do it. And yep, that's just the overall information for the Module 1. If you still have confusion or still have any question, you're more than welcome to set up a meeting with me or send me the email.